Hello there! If you're new here, I'm Miriam and this is my gaming perspective. Gaming is something that most people do at least once in their lifetimes, even if it's just to play Tetris. I know for a fact that the only video game that some people have ever played is Tetris. Yes. Most of us, the majority of people, were introduced to gaming and video games when they were children. And the same happened to me. When I was a child, my parents decided to buy me my first Game Boy Advance, and I later forgot it in an amusement park, and of course it got stolen. But yeah, I think that was my first console ever. Do you guys remember the video games you played as a child? I for sure do. And so I thought I would tell you guys the video games I played as a child, or the ones I remember the most, because I'm sure I played more video games than the ones I remember. The first video game I remember is Lord of the Rings 3: The Return of the King for the PlayStation 2. Now, if you know me, you'll know that I'm a huge Lord of the Rings fan. And I mean huge. I've grown up with Lord of the Rings everywhere. I have a lot of Lord of the Rings related stuff, like a lot. And so when I was a child, I remember one Christmas, I didn't really want anything related to video games. I don't really remember how old I was, but I was really young. For sure, I had already watched the 3 Lord of the Rings movies, or maybe the 3. I've watched the 3 because I mean, if I was able to play the third video game, then the third movie had already come out. So I for sure had already watched it. But I was too young. And I wasn't really interested in the PlayStation. I was more interested in Nintendo and all that, though. I mean, at that time, I don't know what my dad was thinking, but he got me a PS2 for Christmas. I wasn't really that excited. I remember that when I saw it and when I opened it, I was like, what the hell is this? And now that I think about it, maybe my dad bought the PS2 not for me, but he bought it for me as an excuse to buy it for himself so that he could play it. So I got the PS2, and with the PS2 came the Lord of the Rings 3. And let me tell you, I loved that game, though I was really scared to play it. So imagine a small Miriam, a really young Miriam, sitting on her couch, attempting to play Lord of the Rings 3. And the minute she saw orcs or any other kind of creature, she was like, Dad, orcs, kill them! And yeah, I didn't really get to play much because I was not brave enough, I guess. I was scared of the orcs. Maybe I was not really that scared of the orcs, but more of the fact that there were a lot of them coming at me, and I was like, oh my god, I'm going to die, oh god. And so my dad ended up playing. But one of the things I liked most about that game is the multiplayer mode. I loved to play with my dad in that video game because I was able to choose not any of the Lord of the Rings characters, but any character from the Fellowship I wanted, and my dad too, and we could go together and kill orcs and basically fight for Middle Earth. And I really like that. That was really enjoyable. Really, really, really enjoyable. What fond memories. Though, let me tell you that we never got to finish the game. We usually arrived at the Black Gate, and we always died. We always died there. Always. I don't know if I ever got to finish the game actually. Maybe it's time to take out my PS2, clean it up a little bit because I'm sure that's got to have a lot of dust, and see if I can finish the game. For once, actually, because my goodness. Now, the second video game I remember playing was Animal Crossing Wild World. And I believe this was my first video game in the Nintendo DS. And I actually remember going to... Well, I already told this story in my Animal Crossing review. But I remember going to the Canary Islands and I had my Nintendo DS there with me, which actually didn't have games. So I remember that we walked into one of the stores there and I saw that they had Animal Crossing Wild World. So I asked my parents to buy it and they bought it for me. And let me tell you that recently, since Animal Crossing New Horizons had not been released yet, I decided to visit my old Animal Crossing Wild World town or island. That was horrible. That was horrible. That was horrible. But I had tons of fun when I was a child. Another video game I really didn't get to finish until I was much older was Kingdom Hearts 2. I loved Kingdom Hearts 2 when I was a child. But sometimes it was kind of difficult for me. I mean, you can imagine that a child who is scared of playing a video game because of the orcs would find Kingdom Hearts 2 difficult. I was really terrible playing video games at that time. Really terrible. But yeah, I really did like Kingdom Hearts 2, and I remember that I actually stopped playing when I reached the Beauty and the Beast's world, and there was one battle there, and one of the bosses, I don't actually remember what boss it was, but I couldn't defeat him, and I got frustrated, and I stopped playing that afternoon, and then I never continued until I was much older. Remember that I had that video game in my house and decided to give it a go once again. And I finished it. Thank goodness. Because my God. All the video games that Miriam used to play were any Mario related video games. Super Mario Bros, Mario Kart and all that. And I especially remember playing Super Mario Bros for the Nintendo DS. And Mario Kart for the Nintendo DS too. I remember that I played Mario Bros, Super Mario Bros, and I really had a fun time there. I remember talking with my classmates about how you could defeat a certain world or a certain level and all that. And I remember that once you finished that game, there was something you had to do in order to complete other worlds. Would have to go back to that game because I actually don't remember much of it. But I really had a fun time. And Mario Kart, we all know what Mario Kart is, right? It's a racing game. It's the only car game I'm good at. The only one. Because I've tried the more realistic ones, I'm going to call them, No. No. I can assure you that I suck at them. Yes. But yeah, I like to play Mario Kart, and especially if I got to play it with friends. And I remember that, I don't know if this is actually true, if I remember correctly, but not everyone had to have the Mario Kart game for them to be able to play it with friends. So I remember that I could have the Mario Kart game and my friend who didn't have it wanted to play, and it wasn't really a problem that she didn't have it because we could connect our Nintendo DS and then she would be able to play my video game, which was kind of cool. Those were the good times. Now, who hasn't ever played a Pokemon game when they were a child? I for sure did. And I remember playing Pokemon Diamond and Pearl. Don't ask me which one because I'm not sure if I played Diamond or Pearl, but either of those. Because I mean, I didn't get to finish it. No. Did I ever get to finish any of the games I played as a child? I think the only video game I ever finished was Super Mario Bros. The thing for me with Pokemon Diamond and Pearl was that, well, I was playing it and I was really into the game. I was really into it. And I played for hours and hours and hours and hours. But what happened was that at one point I was playing, my Nintendo DS had low battery and I didn't save the game. So the Nintendo DS died and all my progress died with it. And once I turned on the Nintendo DS once again and I started playing once again, I realized that, and I realized I had to start all over again, and it was like, oh no. And I didn't play Pokemon until much, much later in my life because I was really, really, really mad. Not at the game, but at myself. Though I might have been a little bit mad at the game, but autosaves at the time did not really exist, I think. Did autosaves exist at that time? I don't think so. Did they? Now, the next two video games I'm going to talk about are ones I played much later in my childhood when I was a little bit older. And the first one is The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. And I didn't play this one until it released for the Nintendo 3DS because I knew that The Legend of Zelda existed, but I hadn't really played any of the video games before because I don't know why. I mean, well, I kind of know why. I know that most of the video games I got at that time were bought by my parents. And, well, they bought me the more popular ones, I guess. I don't know. But I didn't get to play any Zelda video game until Ocarina of Time got released for the 3DS. And I saw the video game. It was $20, I think. It was really cheap. And I was like, you know what? Let's give this a go. And I really enjoyed it. Same again. I didn't get to finish the game until much, much later. I remember that I got to the Shadow Temple and I almost managed to finish the Shadow Temple, but I got killed. And I got tired of having to restart all over again and being brought back to the beginning of the temple and having to make my way through the temple once again. And I got tired of that and I was like, okay, yeah, I'll continue another day. And it's that thing where you get frustrated and you leave it there, you forget you have to play it, and then you forget for 1 year, 2, 3, And then you realize you had it there, you are not frustrated anymore, and you are able to play it and finally finish the game. The last video game I'm going to talk about today, well, it could be a video game, but it's more of a series of video games. It's Professor Layton. I never thought I would enjoy this kind of video game. I didn't really consider myself as a kind of puzzle solving kind of girl. But I saw this video game once. I don't remember which one I played first, but I saw the trailer. I saw that it had this anime kind of style. I was really into anime at that time, trust me. I'm still into anime, but that was my hardcore anime phase. And I saw that and it really made me want to play it. So I bought it and I got addicted. Because the stories were really good. I really like the stories. And the fact that we're really based, inspired by Sherlock Holmes and the mysteries he had to solve and all the puzzles and all that. They are really good video games. Even though they are more casual. It's a more casual kind of gaming, but I really enjoyed them. And I have all the Professor Layton video games. And I was really sad when they said, well, this is the last Professor Layton video game you're ever going to play. That was really, really sad. But I guess all good stories must come to an end. And that's the end of today's video. Do you guys remember the video games you played as a child? Do you remember if you got to finish them or to complete them? Would you have liked to play any other video games when you were children? If you do, please leave a comment down below telling me which video games you played as a child, which ones were your favorite, and which ones were a revelation. And if you guys have liked this video, don't forget to subscribe and click on the notification bell so that you don't miss any videos in the future. I'll see you in the next video.